Hey everybody, welcome. This edition is having to do with what we call Monday Money. This is all about finances and topics related to finances with building wealth. Why do we want to build wealth? Because we want the freedom that having money brings. Simple concept. You got $5, you get a donut and a drink. You got $10, you might be able to get a kid's Happy Meal. You got $100, you can get a nice steak dinner. There you have it. What would you like? How many choices would you like to have is better the question that you need to be asking yourself, because it's not the dollar amount that we're really after. It's the freedom that comes with having the money. And the thing about it is that it's not so important to become a millionaire. It's the person that we become on the way to becoming a millionaire is what's important. I have yet to hear anybody has more than $1 million that has earned it that did not become extremely laser-like focused and very disciplined with what it is that they're doing. And that means that they did a number of things along the way. We're going to kind of touch on some of those right now. First thing that I want you to do, and this is something that I do every 90 days for myself, is I do basically a checkup. They say checkup from the neck up. I do a checkup, financial checkup on myself, and figure out exactly where I am at, having to do with all of my finances. You know, what is your net worth? You know, everything that you own, if you got top dollar for it, what does it sell for? And then minus all of the debt that is on it. And then you're going to come up with what's your net worth. So it's extremely important to know exactly where you're at with that. And this is a great time to do it because I think we're headed into some turbulent times. I don't foresee the country collapsing, but you never know, okay? But I do know this, is anything that we can measure and track, we can make adjustments and keep accountability of it. All right. And the big thing is that, like, you know, people will sign up, get me to mentor them. And then, you know, one of the first things we talk about is, you know, I want to become rich. Okay. Well, what do you, well, you know, just become rich. I hand them a quarter and say, okay, problem solved. What next? No, you know, I want to be rich. And I'm like, I don't know. No, I don't know, okay? Because your definition of rich and my definition of rich can be two very different things. The thing is that you have to quantify exactly what does that mean. And the thing about it is that if we keep seeing a upward projection, okay, as far as like our net worth goes, then that's great, all right? The other thing that you need to do is be keeping track of what your net or not so much as your net worth, but your income each month going up. You might have a couple of different things going. You might have a few gumball machines. You might be, you know, detailing cars on the weekend, cutting grass or something like that. But you need to be keeping track of that. See how much money comes in, because you would not believe what ends up happening once you start making money. Stay tuned. This is the very first thing that happens when you start making money. And this is the big difference between poor people and rich people. When a poor person thinks or knows that they're getting money coming in, they're already figuring out, I'm going to spend it. The thing about wealthy people is if they know or anticipate money coming in, whether that's like a big dividend check or they're selling something, they're asking themselves, what can I do with this money to make more money? Okay? And they're going to say a couple of things to start with. What's the best way for me to invest my money and be able to get it back? That's going to be the first thing. Wealth preservation. You make it, you want to hold on to it. Okay, trust me on this one. Always ask yourself, what's the likeliness of me getting paid back? All right. Number 2 is going to be, what is the rate of return on my investment going to be? Okay. Now, if you're just starting off in life, you can roll the dice a lot more than, say, like if you're at 50 or 60 years old. okay? If you're starting to try to retire at 50, your dice rolling days are over. What you want to do is kind of keep things as simple and as stable as possible. More than likely, probably not going to be, some IPOs or anything that's highly speculative. Some nice dividend-paying stocks from stable companies, GE, Coca-Cola, AT&T, might be something that you really need to take a look at because they're consistent and stable. All right, so that's the big. Second thing is once we've made the money, we want to hold on to it. Okay, this is why kind of my exit strategy is doing mortgages on the properties that I have that are paid for and what we call owner finance, because I'll still get a steady check. Somebody else gets an opportunity to own a home that might not normally do that. I get some money up front in the amount of a down payment, and so it just works out real well all the way around. Next thing you want to do is you want to keep a budget. You want to know how much money's coming in and where it's going. You want to be able to track how much you're investing, how much you're saving, how much you're having to put out for living expenses. Only when that occurs do we have the ability to start making some adjustments and maybe start saving some money to give us some extra cash to be able to start making some investments. Extremely important for this to occur. Trust me on this, folks. When you start to see that, hey, I'm spending $400 a month at Starbucks, or I'm spending, X number of dollars over here, and it's kind of frivolous money that you really don't need to be spending, then we can start to make a difference, okay? Just imagine if you took, $300 a month and added that to a dividend-paying stock, saved it for a couple of years, got a down payment for a house, and then went and bought a piece of rental property. It's pretty substantial when you make that move right there. And it's amazing how much stuff we buy that's actually very frivolous. So keep track of that. Do the budget, okay? You've got to. Here's the thing, folks. Regardless of what anybody tells you, and this is going to be the number one response you hear from people that are broke, money doesn't matter. I'm just about happiness, okay? Well, why do you even want a car? Why aren't you happy just being homeless? Well, I can't do that and everything. Well, you just said money doesn't matter, okay? So why aren't you opening up your home to everybody else that's less fortunate? Well, I want to feel safe, but you just said it doesn't matter. What are they going to do? They're going to steal your money? It doesn't matter. Trust me on this one, folks. You're going to hear these things when you start doing this, and especially if you start to become vocal about financial independence and your journey on it. You're going to hear a lot of people say, you're crazy. It's not going to happen like that. You're going to be broke. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. Don't listen to them. Trust me. I'm here to tell you, they will start talking about it. Everybody wants you to do better, except when it's better than them, okay? Virtually nobody wants you to do better than them. Me personally, I want everybody that I mentor to be in a position where I can borrow money from them. I really do, okay? That's my whole goal. I need them at that point. So we're going to do a budget, okay? With that is going to happen this. You're going to have accountability. Accountability is a great thing. We're going to be able to track our expenses. We're going to be able to track our net worth, see if we're becoming worth more money or less money, okay? You might not understand this and don't think it's important. Trust me, it is, okay? And the earlier that you start these habits, the more beneficial they're going to be down the road. Me personally, I wish that I had tracked every amount of money that's ever come through my hands. Well, maybe not, because then I might, put a bullet in my head. I haven't always had this mindset. I bought my first rental property, I think 20 years, 19 years ago, somewhere in there. Still have the house, okay? Owe $19,000 on it, and its payment is just a little bit less than $500 a month, and it rents for $1,200 right now. It's a great property. It's done its job and it's made some money. Here's the problem: that the first 7 years that I owned the property, I let a friend of mine, her dad lived there, and I didn't make any profit on it. All I did was I just rented it out to him, and he took care of the property. Granted, I didn't have to put any money into it, but I didn't make any money. Okay, huge mistake on my part. All right. it worked out and everything, but again, I would never recommend doing that with somebody. So there's 7 years of revenue that I lost out on, okay? It is what it is. So, the thing about it is that I wish I'd been able to track exactly how much money's come in and how much money's going out on that piece of property. Now, there's one property that I am doing that with because I know exactly how much I paid for it, kept track of all the expenses on everything that we've done on it as far as materials and labor and everything. And then I did, they call it the BRRRR method, but once it was completed, I got a mortgage on it and got my money out of it. And, so basically it's one of those situations where I have the ability, and that's a habit that I'm starting to have to do. Now, I'm not the best at keeping detailed records nor being organized, and so I've got other people that I do that with. I got one person that I'll send them a text message whenever I make a purchase, and it'll be like, I go to Home Depot, spend $289.79, and I'll send them a text message, say, charge, unit 3, this amount of money, we just made a purchase, charge, 20 hours of labor to this piece of property and everything. And so I want to know, sometimes you're going to find out that some properties perform better than others, some that you just, for some reason, they're just like snake bit. You're always going to be putting money into them. It might be the location, it might be the clientele. Even though you screen your tenants, you can have bad tenants that check out good, okay? It normally doesn't happen like that, but it is still possible. And you can't regulate on how a person lives inside of your house, okay? Until the point where, there's just a mass infestation of roaches or cockroaches or roaches and rats, then you really can't dictate the way that they live. It's unfortunate, but I've walked into my houses and seen, 15 bags of trash stacked up in the kitchen, and it's like, what in the hell? And yes, I did get them to, throw all that away and everything, but it's just one of those things. You really can't dictate how a person lives, okay? You can't regulate it. So we're going to start with, what do I have? What is my net worth? And then we're going to figure out what my budget is. What am I spending money on? How much do I have coming in and how much do I have going out? The last is we're going to start being accountable for every dollar that comes and goes. We need to know that. We need to make that happen. And if you want 15 minutes of my time free, you got it, okay? You send me an email. It's in the description. Send me an email with your phone number, and I will call you. You can ask me any question that you want to, okay? You can send me an email and ask me questions, but if there's a video that I've already done that explains it, I'm going to tell you which video to go back and watch, okay? I have people all the time ask me, how much do I charge with a load from my dump trailer? Well, you need to figure out what your time is worth, what the price of garbage is for a ton at the landfill, all that kind of stuff. Your area is different than my area. That's a question that I'm not even going to entertain any longer. I did a whole video on how I did it. If I can teach you how to fish, then you can feed yourself for the rest of your life. But if I give you a fish, you only get to eat one time. It's Robert with the Hustle Nation. Have a wonderful day.